Most people are terrified of the dark, but the truly disciplined man knows that the greatest power resides in the shadows of what is not said. We live in an era of chronic over-explanation. Everyone is talking. Everyone is broadcasting. Everyone is desperately trying to prove their intelligence, their status, and their worth through a constant stream of noise. But in this ocean of chatter, silence has become the ultimate high-status luxury. Have you ever noticed that in a room full of people, the one who speaks the least often possesses the most gravity? While others are frantically bidding for attention, the silent man sits back, observing, processing, and holding his cards close to his chest. He doesn't look for validation. He doesn't beg to be understood. And because he is so comfortable with his own silence, the rest of the world becomes incredibly uncomfortable. Silence is not an absence. It is a presence. It is a psychological vacuum that forces others to reveal their insecurities, their lies, and their desperation. If you want to control a room, you don't need to raise your voice. You need to lower your investment. You need to master the art of the sovereign void. In this exploration, we are going to dismantle the mechanics of silence and show you exactly why saying nothing is the most confident move you can ever make. Welcome to the inner Citadel. Today we master the weapon of silence. To understand why silence increases confidence, we must first look at why people talk so much. In the wild, silence is a signal of a predator. A wolf doesn't howl while it's hunting. A lion doesn't roar while it's stalking. Noise is a distraction. Silence is focus. Humans, however, have developed a prey reflex called social pacing. When we feel anxious or socially subordinate, our brain perceives the silence as a threat. It feels like a gap where we might be judged or rejected. To protect ourselves, we fill that gap with nervous laughter, useless facts, or mindless gossip. This is a biological leak. Every time you speak just to avoid an awkward moment, you are signaling to the room that you are uncomfortable. You are signaling that you are not in control of your own nervous system. The confident man has overridden this reflex. He has trained his amygdala to sit in the tension of a quiet room without flinching. When you refuse to fill the silence, you are communicating something profound. You are communicating that you are safe. You are signaling that you do not need the approval of the group to feel secure. This biological stability is what people sense as confidence. It is the aura of a person who is not hunted, but who is, perhaps, the hunter. In physics, a vacuum sucks everything into it. In psychology, silence does the exact same thing. Human beings are sense-making machines. When there is a lack of information, our brains go into overdrive trying to fill in the blanks. When you ask a question and the other person gives you a short, evasive answer, and you respond with nothing but a steady gaze, you have created a vacuum. Because the other person is likely a reactive individual, they will feel a physical itch to break that tension. They will start talking, they will start explaining, they will start justifying. The hidden advantage of silence is that it forces your opponent to negotiate against themselves. They will reveal their secrets, they will lower their price, and they will admit their faults, all because they are trying to fix the problem of your silence. You aren't doing anything aggressive. You are simply providing the space for them to hang themselves with their own words. Silence is the most effective interrogation technique ever devised, and you can use it every single day without ever sounding like a threat. Think of your words as a limited currency. If a central bank prints money every single day without stop, the value of that currency hits zero. Inflation destroys the power of the dollar. The same thing happens to your social status when you talk too much. If you have an opinion on everything, if you comment on every post, and if you fill every room with your voice, your words become cheap. People stop listening because they know you'll keep talking whether they listen or not. The man of confidence treats his words like gold. He practices the economy of speech. He speaks only when he has something of immense value to add, or when he wants to move the needle of the interaction. By being the silent wealthy, you create an aura of mystery. People begin to wonder, what is he thinking? What does he know? Because you don't leak information, you become a high-value enigma. When you finally do choose to speak, the entire room goes quiet. Why? Because you've conditioned them to believe that your words are rare, and therefore, they must be important. Silence doesn't just increase your confidence, it increases your market value. In every social interaction, there is a frame. The frame is the invisible set of rules that dictates who is leading and who is following. The person who is talking the most, explaining the most, and reacting the most is usually the one inside the other person's frame. They are the guest in the other person's reality. The silent man is the observer. By choosing to listen more than he speaks, he stays outside of everyone else's frame. He is the one collecting data, analyzing motives, and mapping the psychological terrain of the room. While everyone else is busy performing, he is busy judging. This is the ultimate shift in power. When you are silent, you are not participating in the drama. You are presiding over it. You are the judge, the architect, and the pilot. This detached observation is the hallmark of true confidence. It shows that you are not easily moved by the opinions of others because you are too busy forming your own. You aren't looking for a place to fit in. You are deciding if the room is worthy of you. Silence is powerful, but silence paired with the right gaze is transformative. Most people, when they stop speaking, shift their eyes. They look at the floor, they check their phone, or they scan the room for an exit. This signals that their silence is defensive. They are hiding. The man of the hidden advantage uses visual stillness. When he stops talking, his eyes remain locked on the target. He employs the zero blink focus. By reducing your blink rate while remaining silent, you are sending a chilling signal to the other person's nervous system. You are communicating that you are processing them with total, unhurried intensity. This creates a predatory atmosphere. The other person begins to feel exposed. They feel like a specimen under a microscope. This visual pressure, combined with the lack of verbal feedback, often causes people to break and admit things they never intended to share. Your eyes are doing the interrogation. Your mouth is just holding the line. In the world of high-stakes business, the first person to speak after an offer is made is usually the one who loses. Why? Because the pause after an offer is a battle of wills. Most people make an offer and then, out of nervousness, start justifying it. I think $50,000 is fair because of X, Y, and Z. The man who dominates through silence makes his offer and then disappears into the void. He says the number, and then he stops. He might wait 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or even a full minute. This silence communicates absolute certainty. It says, "This is my position, and I am so comfortable with it that I don't need to sell it to you." By holding the pause, you force the other person to be the one to bridge the gap. They will often fill that silence by offering a counter concession or by revealing their bottom line just to end the psychological discomfort. Silence is the ultimate discount generating machine. It costs you nothing, but it can earn you millions. Insecurity sounds like a long paragraph. Confidence sounds like a single sentence. When you are asked why you made a certain decision or why you can't attend an event, your instinct is to provide a detailed list of reasons. This is defensive speech. It signals that you feel subordinate to the person asking, that you owe them a justification for your existence. The sovereign man practices the no explanation rule. He understands that no is a complete sentence. If he cannot do something, he says, "I can't make it." Period. If he made a choice, he says, "That was the best path forward." Period. By refusing to explain yourself, you are signaling that you are the highest authority in your own life. You are not a child giving an excuse to a teacher. When you provide zero leverage in the form of explanations, people have nothing to argue with. They are forced to accept your reality. This brand of silence, the silence of the unexplained, is the bedrock of respect. In a world of 24/7 connectivity, being reachable is a low-status trait. If you respond to every text within 30 seconds, you are communicating that your time is not valuable. You are signaling that you have nothing more important to do than wait for a vibration in your pocket. Digital silence is about creating scarcity. It's about being the person who takes 4 hours to respond to a non-urgent message. This isn't a game. It's a reflection of your priorities. When you are silent in the digital realm, you are training people how to treat you. You are teaching them that your attention is a reward, not a right. This creates a psychological pull. People will value your messages more because they are rare. They will think twice before sending you trivial nonsense because they know you won't respond to it. By mastering digital silence, you reclaim your focus and you elevate your status above the reactive masses who are chained to their notifications. The average person is a slave to social harmony. They are terrified of awkward silences. When a conversation dies, they feel a physical panic to revive it. They will say anything, even something stupid or self-deprecating, just to stop the silence. The man who controls through silence uses this to his advantage. He becomes the master of comfortable discomfort. He is perfectly happy to let a conversation die. He will sit there, drink his coffee, and look at the view while the other person fidgets and sweats. This ability to be at home in the tension signals a massive amount of internal power. It shows that you don't need the social lubricant of mindless chatter to feel secure. While the other person is busy performing for you, trying to fill the gap, you are simply observing. You have become the center of the interaction, and everyone else is revolving around your stillness. Silence doesn't mean you never speak. It means you speak with precision. One of the most dominant ways to use silence is the echo technique. Instead of offering your own opinion, you listen intently, wait for a pause, and then repeat the last 3 words of what the other person said as a question. Them. I'm really worried about the direction the company is taking. You. Pause. The company is taking. This forces them to keep talking. It keeps you in the position of the interrogator while they remain the informant. You are using tiny bursts of speech to maintain a massive amount of silence on your end. By the end of the conversation, they will have told you everything, and you will have told them nothing. They will walk away thinking you are a great conversationalist, when in reality you just dominated them through listening. When someone disrespects you or crosses a line, your instinct is to shout, to argue, or to defend your honor. This is a mistake. Emotion is a reaction. Reaction is a loss of frame. The most powerful way to handle disrespect is stone-cold silence. If someone makes a joke at your expense or speaks to you in a tone that is unacceptable, you do not bark back. You simply stop. You stop the conversation. You stop moving. You look them in the eye for 3 to 5 seconds with a completely neutral face. Then you turn and speak to someone else, or you walk away. This silence is far more devastating than an insult. It communicates that the person is so beneath your level that their attempt to provoke you didn't even register as a threat, only as a nuisance. You have effectively deleted them from the social space. Silence is the ultimate boundary. It shows that you are a fortress that cannot be breached by noise. In the animal kingdom, the loudest roar belongs to the lion, but the deadliest strike belongs to the snake, which is silent. In human social structures, we have been conditioned to think that loud equals strong. We see politicians shouting and activists screaming, and we confuse noise for power. This is a fatal strategic error. Volume is a compensation for a lack of genuine authority. When you shout, you are trying to force your way into someone else's brain. The man who dominates through silence understands the inverse law of volume. He knows that the more certain you are of your power, the quieter you can afford to be. When you speak in a low, calm, and measured tone, bordering on a whisper, you force the world to adjust to you. People have to stop moving, stop talking, and physically lean in to capture your words. In that moment, you have achieved total physical and psychological compliance without lifting a finger. You are the gravity well of the room. A whisper suggests that you have hidden reserves of power that you don't even need to use. Shouting is an explosion. Silence is a pressurized tank. One is a mess, the other is a weapon. The greatest leaders in history were often the most enigmatic. They didn't micromanage through constant chatter. They practiced the philosophy of the empty throne. They understood that a leader who is always talking is a leader who is giving away his mystique. When a leader enters a room and remains silent, he becomes a mirror for his subordinates. Because they don't know exactly what he is thinking, they are forced to do their best work to avoid his disapproval. They start to self-correct. They start to police their own behavior. Silence allows a leader to maintain the strategic high ground. By not committing to an opinion early in a meeting, you allow everyone else to reveal their positions, their biases, and their alliances. By the time you finally speak, you have the full map of the battlefield. You aren't just giving an opinion, you are delivering a verdict. This is why silence is the foundation of confidence in leadership. It shows you are not a participant in the chaos, but the architect who oversees it. In quantum physics, the observer effect suggests that the mere act of watching a phenomenon changes its outcome. This is equally true in social dynamics. When you sit in a meeting or a social gathering and you remain perfectly silent and observant, you are changing the behavior of everyone in the room. People become performative. They start to act in a way they think you would approve of. They feel the weight of your gaze. Because you are not contributing noise, you are perceived as a higher level entity, a judge. This creates a psychological chilling effect on petty drama and useless chatter. Your silence acts as a filter, removing the trash from the interaction. You don't have to tell people to be professional. Your silent presence demands it. This is the ultimate hidden advantage. You dominate the environment simply by existing within it as an unmoving point of focus. You cannot be silent in a crisis if you cannot be silent with yourself. Most people are addicted to internal noise, a constant stream of self-talk, anxiety, and distraction. To master the weapon of silence, you must train the muscle of the void. The 10-minute wall. Sit in a room with no phone, no music, and no book. Just sit and look at a wall for 10 minutes. Notice the urge to move, to check a notification, or to talk to yourself. Resist it. The wait to speak drill. In your next 3 conversations, make it a rule that you will not speak until at least 3 seconds after the other person has finished their sentence. The sensory fast. Spend 1 hour a day in total silence. No input, no output. This training hardens your nervous system. It builds a buffer between stimulus and response. When someone insults you or pressures you, you won't react because you've already spent hours sitting in the void. You have become comfortable with the nothingness, so the something that others throw at you has no power to move you. Conflict requires 2 people. It requires an action and a reaction. When someone shouts at you, they are throwing a hook, hoping you will bite. If you shout back, you are caught. The conflict escalates, and you both lose your frame. Silence is the ultimate fire extinguisher. When someone attacks you verbally, your silence acts as a vacuum. They are throwing fire into a space with no oxygen. Without your reaction to fuel it, their anger will inevitably burn itself out. Usually, after 10 to 15 seconds of your total silence and steady gaze, the aggressor will begin to feel foolish. They will realize they are the only ones making noise. They will start to backpedal. They will start to apologize. By doing nothing, you have won the fight. You have remained the sovereign, while they have exposed themselves as the emotional. In a world of oversharing, information is a liability. The more people know about your tastes, your politics, your history, and your triggers, the more handles they have to pull you with. The Confident Man is an unread book. By being silent about his personal life and his internal thoughts, he maintains a state of total informational advantage. People cannot manipulate you if they don't know what moves you. They cannot threaten you if they don't know what you value. Silence creates an iron curtain around your soul. This mystery makes you more attractive, more intimidating, and more influential. People fill the silence with their own fantasies of your power. Let them. Your silence allows you to be whoever the situation requires you to be, without being tied down by the data of your past. Silence isn't just about not speaking. It's about the tempo of your existence. Reactive people are fast. They snap their heads toward noises. They answer questions before the other person is done. They are in a rush to be liked. The sovereign man moves and speaks in slow motion. When he is asked a question, he doesn't just pause. He allows his body to remain still. He takes a slow breath. He looks at the person. Only then does he speak. This temporal silence, the silence of movement, signals that he is the master of his own time. He is not being pushed by the world. By slowing down the tempo of the interaction through your silence, you force everyone else to slow down to meet you. You are the one setting the speed of the game. We have discussed the gaze, but we must discuss the pressure of the eyes. When you are silent, where you look determines the temperature of the silence. If you look at the floor, the silence is submissive. If you look at the bridge of their nose, the silence is professional. If you look at their third eye, the space between the eyebrows, the silence becomes aggressive and dominant. By combining total verbal silence with a third eye focus, you create a physical sensation of weight in the other person's head. They will feel a desperate need to look away or to start talking to break the spell. This is a subtle but devastating way to control an interaction without ever being rude. You are simply using the biology of the human eye to assert your dominance, while your mouth remains a closed fortress. In a group setting, there is always a clown or a bully who tries to gain status by making fun of others. They are looking for a laugh from the group and a reaction from the victim. The man of the hidden advantage uses the no reaction protocol. When the joke is made at his expense, he doesn't laugh, he doesn't get angry, and he doesn't offer a comeback. He simply stops talking and looks at the person with a bored, clinical expression. This silence is a social death sentence for the bully. By not reacting, you have signaled to the entire group that the joke wasn't funny and that the bully is beneath your notice. The awkwardness that follows is the bully's fault, not yours. The group will instinctively look at you to see how to feel, and when they see your total calm, they will realize that you are the one with the real power. The bully will look desperate and petty, while you remain the sovereign of the space. Silence is the bow, and the first word you speak after a long period of stillness is the arrow. Most people ruin their silence by speaking too soon or by saying something trivial when they finally do open their mouth. They build up all that tension and then release it with a nervous comment. This is a waste of strategic capital. The man of the hidden advantage understands the law of heavy speech. When you have maintained silence for a significant amount of time, your first sentence must be short, declarative, and heavy. It should not be a question. It should not be an apology. It should be a verdict. If you have been silent during a negotiation, your first word shouldn't be well. It should be no, or the price is X. Because you have waited, the perceived value of that sentence has increased exponentially. People have been starving for your input, and when you finally feed them, they swallow it whole without questioning. In the realm of attraction, oversharing is the fastest way to kill desire. Desire thrives on the unknown. It requires a gap for the other person's imagination to fill. Most men, out of a need for validation, tell their entire life story on the first date. They reveal their insecurities, their past traumas, and their future plans. They become a solved puzzle. The confident man uses selective silence. He listens 80% of the time. He allows the other person to wonder about his history and his thoughts. This silence creates a magnetic tension. By not being an open book, you force the other person to work for your attention. You become a challenge to be conquered. In a world where everyone is a social media exhibit, The man who keeps his life private and his words few is the most attractive person in the room. He is the only one with a secret, and everyone wants to know what it is. We live in an era of availability anxiety. People feel that if they don't post, they don't exist. They feel that if they don't answer a DM within 5 minutes, they are losing a connection. This is the mindset of a beggar. Digital dark mode is the practice of intentional, unannounced disappearance. You stop posting, you stop liking, you stop viewing stories, you become a ghost in the machine. This creates a massive spike in your social value. People start to talk about you more because you aren't there to talk about yourself. They wonder if you've achieved a massive success or if you've moved on to a higher level of existence. By being silent online, you are signaling that your real life is far more important than your digital shadow. You are the master of your own attention, and that is the rarest form of confidence in the 21st century. Look at the most powerful figures in history. When Admiral Nelson was at sea, or when elite samurai faced an opponent, they didn't waste breath on taunts. They used the executioner's silence. In 1972, during the famous Match of the Century, Bobby Fischer used silence and psychological absence to destroy Boris Spassky's composure. He didn't just play chess. He played with Spassky's mind by simply not showing up, or by being utterly silent and unreadable when he did. The lesson is simple. Silence is the armor of the elite. Every great conqueror, CEO, and strategist has known that the less people know about what you are thinking, the more they fear what you might do. Silence is the dark matter of power. You can't see it, but it holds the entire galaxy together. When you are silent during a confrontation, you are literally altering the brain chemistry of the person you are facing. Silence triggers a threat response in the human brain. Because we are social animals, being ignored or met with silence causes a spike in cortisol, the stress hormone. The other person's brain begins to scramble. They feel a physical need to solve the silence to lower their stress levels. This is why they start talking too much. They are trying to self-medicate their own anxiety. On your end, however, the silence allows you to maintain your dopamine levels. You are in control. You are the observer. You are not being flooded by the stress of the interaction because you have decided not to participate in the noise. You are the chemist, and the room is your laboratory. People who try to provoke you are looking for a high-energy reaction. They want you to get angry, to cry, or to defend yourself. This energy is their reward. It makes them feel powerful. The most devastating response to a provocateur is total boredom. When someone insults you, look at them with the same interest you would give to a blank wall. Don't even give them a clever comeback. A comeback shows that you were affected. Silence shows that you weren't even listening. By offering zero social reward for their bad behavior, you deplatform them. They will eventually stop, not because they are nice, but because they are bored. You have dominated them by being the most uninteresting target in the world. Most people ruin a good interaction by overstaying their welcome. They linger. They wait for a polite moment to leave. This is a leak of status. The sovereign man uses the silent exit. When a meeting is over, or when a social gathering has reached its peak, he leaves. He doesn't give a long apologetic explanation. He says, "I'm heading out. Take care." And he walks away. By being comfortable with the sudden silence of your departure, you leave a vacuum behind you. People will continue to talk about you for 30 minutes after you're gone, simply because you left while the energy was still high. You are the one who dictates the beginning and the end of your presence. You cannot project silence if your mind is a storm of what-ifs and I should have saids. You must build the inner citadel. This is the practice of mental stillness. Every day, spend 20 minutes in a room where you do not allow yourself to have a monologue. If a thought enters, you watch it pass like a car on a highway, but you do not get in the car. This internal silence creates a layer of psychological armor. When you go into a high-pressure meeting, you aren't trying to be silent. You are silence. You have reached a level of internal stability where the world's noise is just a distant hum. Let's summarize the technical manual of the void. The 3-second rule. Never respond to anything instantly. The no-explain policy. Your reasons are your own. The downward inflection. Your voice should end low and flat. The zero-blink focus. Hold the gaze. Hold the power. The digital ghost. Scarcity equals value. In any group, the person with the strongest frame wins. The strongest frame belongs to the person who is least reactive to the others. Silence is the ultimate frame holder. By not reacting to jokes, insults, or sudden changes, you are signaling that your reality is the dominant one. You are the anchor. Everyone else is the buoy bobbing on the waves. We are reaching the end of this journey. The world is getting louder. The noise is becoming deafening. Everyone is screaming to be seen, to be heard, to be validated. In this environment, the man who can sit in a room alone and be silent is a god among men. Silence is not just a tactic. It is a declaration of independence. It is the proof that you are not a slave to your impulses or to the expectations of the crowd. You are the master of the void. You are the king of the stillness. You have the hidden advantage. This script is over, but your practice begins now. Today, when someone asks you a question, wait. When someone tries to provoke you, stare. When you feel the need to brag, stay silent. Watch the world change around you. Watch people start to treat you with a new, fearful respect. You have found the power that most men will never know. You have found the power of the void. Remember, silence is confidence, noise is insecurity, stillness is dominance, reaction is submission,